we had a program where you get reimbursements of expenses. So our bookkeeper guy, basically, whether on purpose or on accident, he was running expenses through that he shouldn't have ran through to the tune of $380,000 in the past 18 months.
Hey everybody, it's Brandon Dawson. Welcome to another episode of the B. Dawson Show, where I interview thought leaders, business owners, entrepreneurs who are absolutely crushing it in business. And as you know, I never bring anybody that we don't validate that they are crushing it. And I love the stories that entrepreneurs get to actualize, realize, experience while they're building, growing, and scaling their business. And so today I got a friend of mine, Ralph, and I'll let him introduce himself to you. Ralph, tell him who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandon. Yeah, I'm Ralph Savy and Sons. We're from Connecticut, and we do trenchless technology in underground infrastructure. So basically, we go inside pipes that are underground with cameras and robots, and we put new pipes inside the old pipes without ever having to dig the ground up.
Man, that's, when you say we do that kind of work, at first when you and I were talking about this, I was thinking, pipe, because I used to lay pipe irrigation in high school. Yeah. And I'm like, pipes, they move pipes around. And then you start talking about robots and you start talking about digital controls. Do you guys wear helmets with the, like the guys that fly the,
like VR
yeah,
you're talking? No, none of the VR, but it's kind of like an Xbox,
That's
game.
Cool.
You got a controller and a screen. And
you send the robot down to do the dirty work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, no, you get dirty too. Yeah, we're constantly covered in poop. So yeah, it's definitely a dirty job. Yeah, yep.
People say that there's certain things they're not willing to do. I complained about the walnuts growing up. Right? Yeah, I take the walnuts over the poop anytime. Yeah. I promise you.
Oh yeah. Well, we find walnuts too. But
yeah, I bet you do. All right, so look, let's get down to this. So when you started working with us, how big was your business?
So when we first got introduced with Grant, we were two guys. My brother and I partnered full time, and then we had one subcontractor who was a good friend of ours, Jeremy, and we were doing $750 a year with three guys.
$750,000, and how far back was that?
About 5 years.
5 years.
Yep.
So somewhere along the line, you and I meet. It must have been a boot camp or something. Where did we connect at? So
we first connected. I got introduced to you guys at GrowthCon 2, I want to say it was. And then this, at the end of the GrowthCon, I see this 360, with something or another, and me and Trav are like, oh shit, should we do it? And we're like, yeah, man, let's do it. So we jump on a plane. It was like 2 days later or something, and we were right over there.
Where was that GrowthCon? Was it Vegas or Miami?
I want to say it was Miami.
Miami.
Yeah.
So it would have been last year or the year before.
It was 2 years. Yeah, it must have been 2 years ago.
So you come and you're doing $750,000 of revenue, and you guys are like, hey, we want to blow our business up. Mm-hmm. And at GrowthCon you come into one of our programs after that.
Oh, you know what it was? It was a boot camp. That's what it was. It was after the 360 or the second GrowthCon. Went to a boot camp, and that's when I saw you speaking.
There you go.
Up at it was at a boot camp.
Boot camps.
Yeah, man, it was phenomenal. Definitely opened up the mind, and just I'm like, who the hell is this guy, and how the hell does he know so much about business? It was you were blowing my mind.
So you're like, okay, I heard some things we're dealing with. Some of the things that I'm talking about are resonating with you as a business owner.
Yep.
And you're a small business owner. You're under $1 million. All of a sudden, you come into my 10X 360 program. You go through that program, and here we are 18 months later. What all have you done with us in the last 18 months?
So in the last 18 months, we went from 750 after that first boot camp. I want to say this had to be close to 4 years ago, Brandon. Three?
Well, we're only 3 years in business now.
Yeah, so it was right after.
So it would have been like April or May or June of 19.
Yeah, so in 19 we were doing right about the 750. We hit 2.2 that year when I met you. And then the year after that, we did probably right about 3. So that would have been 20. Then in 20, or no, we did 4 that year. So we did 750 to 2.2 to 4. And then last year we hit just over 5. We did 5.2.
And what are you on target to do this year?
Right now we're on track to do 6. I think we could do 8 easily. But we're in the middle of our first business acquisition with Cardone Acquisitions Tanner. So that'll spike us right up to 9.
So look, I mean, at the end of the day, so you went from 750 to 2.2 to 4 to 5 this year, 6-7 million, and we got an acquisition we're doing.
Yep.
And so talk a little bit for people that hear this are like, okay, and that growth has happened profitably.
Yep. We maintained about 20% through that, give or take 20% through that whole cycle.
And it's been organic.
Yes.
So I think this is the thing when people hear me talk and I say, hey, my expertise is helping business owners grow and scale and create value organically without needing to borrow money, without needing to raise capital from third parties, and without overstretching their organization. Is it true that your experience so far is that's exactly what you guys are doing?
110%, yes. Yeah. And the cool part is, before we got introduced to you, I felt very not knowing what to do operationally, because Grant is awesome at, was it the first 2 you were going over yesterday, sales and promoting.
Yep,
and,
marketing and sales.
Yep, marketing and sales, right? He's awesome at those. That's how we learned. That's how we started ramping up, but we didn't know squat about operations and how to actually do the business, be a business owner. And that's what we learned from you, and it just took the chaos, and it's basically simplifying the chaos and making it controlled. And it's a good feeling.
And so so here we platform the business, we organize it. Now we've got an acquisition we're working on because our 10X buy sell program we launched is to help our entrepreneurs and business owners expand through acquisition once they have the structure in place to have a profitable organization. So let's go back to some more recent things that have happened. So we're working together. You commit to this program I launched, where I think you invested like $350,000 or $400,000, and a lot of people say that's a lot of money. And would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of money, absolutely.
And would you also agree that it takes a little bit of courage to make a big decision like that?
Very much so.
But when we have the kind of success and the track record we had, have you ever spent money with us where you didn't make that money and a return on that money back?
No, not one time. Every time we've got it back in manyfold.
Yeah, so this is the thing is people ask me, well, why are business owners willing? Because the people, my friends, right, and other entrepreneurs, they're like, or people that are new to us, they come in, they're like, what do you mean that person just committed $500,000 for the next 18 months? I'm like, because when you go talk to the business owners like you, they're like, that $500,000 made me $2 or $3 million, so that's why I did it. And so we're in the process, you're spending the money, we're doing this heavy work for you, we're curating your finances, your operating strategies, your marketing strategies. We're really dialing it in, and about what we've been doing that now a couple months with you.
Yeah, just about, yeah.
And talk a little bit about what you've experienced in the 2 months of us doing that with you.
Yeah, totally. So we've been, obviously deep diving everything, and it's been an awesome whirlwind of great information. And one of the huge things was, about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago now, we're digging into all the procedures and building out SOPs and everything for all our different branches and whatnot. And when we got to finances, our guy who has been with us literally since it was just me and my brother in a pickup truck, and he went full time with us about a year ago. And so we approached him and started working on, standard operating procedures with him, and stuff got really weird really quick.
And so you're working with our team,
yeah,
and your internal team,
yes,
and all of a sudden there starts to become questions that we're asking and that you guys are starting to dig into, where you're realizing the responses or the answers were not reasonable.
Yeah, they were weird. Very weird.
Uncomfortable.
Yes.
And in the process of digging in and working with us, what did you find out?
So we found out that the I guess you'd call it the
bookkeeper.
Yeah. So our bookkeeper guy, basically, we had a program where you get reimbursements of expenses, and essentially what he was doing is, whether on purpose or on accident, he was running expenses through that he shouldn't have ran through, to the tune of $380,000 in the past 18 months.
So just so everyone can understand, we actually, if you listen to many of our shows, you'll hear us talk about this and finding this frequently. And one of the things that we know is when we're working with a business owner and their team and we start getting into the finances, and the person who's responsible for the finances starts pushing back and saying things to the business owner like, I don't know why you're working with these people.
Or like, hey, we're going to switch this software because it's not working good anymore, when it's the one that he picked out and we've been using for 2 years.
Yeah, trying to do things like, oh, we're going to switch our software, or why are you working with those guys? We're paying them a lot of money. They start to try to use influence to move away from us getting deeper and deeper involved. And in this particular case, just so everybody that's listening to this understands, he made a commitment to spend $400,000 with us to do this deep work with him, to organize and put his business in a position where it can go from $6 million to $60 million. And because there's an acquisition going on, this was very important that we get all this stuff baseline. And then all of a sudden you wake up and realize that somehow, some way, almost $400,000 in the last 18 months had disappeared inappropriately.
Mm-hmm.
On accident or on purpose.
On accident or on purpose.
That's
correct.
a disclaimer,
That's
so
a
that
disclaimer.
we don't have any liabilities. And you're like, here's a question for you. Because it was picking up as you were getting bigger. It wasn't going down.
Yeah.
So presuming we hit our goals of 7 million, 9 million, 12 million, 15 million, and had done an acquisition where everything would have got blurred,
Mm-hmm.
how much money do you think would have gone missing over the next 2 or 3 years if we didn't catch this?
Well, the thing that blew my mind is, hearing your real life experience with a $1 billion company that you were working with, and it was to the tune of what, 60, 80 million,
Yeah, 80, 85, 86,
to where my lid is now with what the possibilities are of what we're doing. I mean, millions of dollars, and I never would have caught it if we never would have caught it, because there was a level of trust. He had it handled. Everything was going good. There was no reason to look at it. Like, why?
Yeah, and you wonder, your
why would we look
20%
at it?
profitability, is it really 30%?
Totally. Yeah, it absolutely is. We haven't added the numbers back in yet, but
I
yeah,
guarantee you, when you go
absolutely.
throw those numbers back in, if you just figure $6 million in revenue, $300,000,
Yep.
that's 5% addition to your profitability. So your profitability automatically goes up 20 to 25%. The thing people don't understand is when you have somebody that you trust that's behind the scenes like that, it isn't just the money they're taking out of the business. It's the fact that they're never going to want you to go to the banks and get lines of credits. They're not going to want you to do due diligence with somebody. They won't ever want you to be bought because they'll find out the money was missing. So what happens is you surround yourself with people that you feel like, I mean, we've been buddies forever. I trust this person. They would never. And in our business, we see it with family members.
Yeah, he's a family friend. I mean, literally a month ago, we were at a company party at his house with our kids. Like, I was pretty blown away. Like, it hurt me straight up. It hurt me. And again, whether on purpose or accident doesn't really matter. It hurts either way, whatever the outcome was.
Yeah, and it's easy to listen to somebody say, "Oh, I didn't intend to do it," but when you see what they spent the money on and it was all for them, then you kind of question if they did or did not intend to do it.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, look, it sucks when that stuff happens. The good news is, because I always talk about to all of you guys, I say, look, the past is the past. It's what we're going to do going forward. I mean, the good news is you just picked up $25,000 a month of money that was disappearing that you didn't even know was in your budget.
Totally. Yeah, it was definitely a blessing in disguise. And immediately when it happened, so the other cool part of the story too is right when it happened, I didn't know what to do. I was in like panic mode, and our office manager Tori was in panic mode as well. And we're like, what do we do? Oh, call the Cardone team. So we got on the horn with Kate. She hooked us up with Danny. Danny's like, this is what you do. This is how you do it. This is how you go about it. And boom, within 8 hours, we had this thing buttoned up, police report filed, paperwork logged, like everything, soup to nuts done. And so we went from like panic mode to very confident very quickly.
Talk a little bit about what that feels like as a business owner when because we've worked so closely now, that no matter what the implication, if it's an HR issue, if it's a finance issue and you want to negotiate with the bank or credit lines, if it's a marketing issue, if it's a people issue, if it's a strategy issue, if it's a leadership issue, I mean, no matter what the issue is, a technology issue, you literally can pick up the phone, talk to one of our internal experts who are already integrated with your business because we've been working together for the last couple of years and we manage it actively with you, all of a sudden, how much confidence do you have as a business owner that if there is an issue, instead of freaking out about it and letting it control you, you just go straight into problem solving and solution mode?
Yeah, totally. We've never had a resource ever. So it's massive confidence to have that backing and comfort to know that, hey, yeah, stuff's going to happen, but we got somewhere to go, that these guys have already been through it. They've seen it. They've done it. The results speak for themselves, and they'll help us through it, and we'll solve the problem and keep marching forward. So, yeah, it's phenomenal, man. It's been fantastic. And it's great that, you guys have this team built out where it's not just like, oh, Brandon. Like, dude, everyone on your team that we've dealt with is amazing. Amazing individuals. They're all like masters of their craft. And, if they don't know the answer, they will find out who has the answer and get it. Like,
yeah, I appreciate that.
It's awesome.
That is my job. The one thing I teach all you guys, because you've been to a lot of the programs I teach at, and that is, I don't want you guys hearing it from me. I want you to hear it from the team I built, because my job is actually give you confidence that you shouldn't have to be the one doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you should be able to see, hey, this is a game of follow the leader. If I just do what Brandon and the team are doing by finding, aligning, developing, retaining great people who are articulate, who are responsive, who are responsible, who are dedicated, if they can go get those people, I can get those people. And if Brandon can surround himself with those people, I can surround myself with those people. And if this is exactly how they're doing it, this is exactly how I can do it. So talk a little bit about the fact that you're just literally following what we do, what we teach, and what we preach, and you're not outside trying to reinvent something you've never done before.
Yeah, so 1,000%, man. Like, out of the best way I could describe it is these trainings and these classes that we come to in person, like the one I'm at now, Financials Essentials. Like, I'm learning all this stuff. It's awesome, but like, dude, I'm going to be on the horn with Kate. Like, okay, what do I do? How do I implement this? Who do I got to be hooked up with? And you guys are literally going to like walk me through how to do it. Not to say you're going to do it for me, but you're going to help us, get that together so we're confident when we're implementing it. And it's been great, whether it's the mission, vision, values, and bouncing that off you guys, and then they're pointing out, oh, this you can make this tweak and that. Like, it's just awesome. I mean, it's just awesome to have that level of comfort knowing that your guys' team is there to help us through it. Like,
and now because we've integrated, now we've taken a different division, our 10x buy sell division, and we're actually in the process of helping you evaluate and potentially integrate an acquisition target. Walk a little bit about how that resource has been helpful for you.
Yeah. So I think I brought it up on one of the calls. It was a leadership call or one of them when you were on. You're like, yeah, give 10x buy sell a call, and Tanner will help you out. So I get on the horn. We set up a meeting with Tanner. Guy's friggin' amazing. We're going through the whole process. He sends out gets together a letter of intent. He's going through all the diligence. Like, literally, if I was trying to do this on my own, not to say I couldn't do it, but it would be a train wreck, and it would be 80 to 90% of all my available time poured into this acquisition, when right now with Tanner working on it with me, I mean, I maybe have 5% of my time focused on this acquisition from a operational standpoint, and all I'm focused on is, okay, how's the integration going to be into our business? Is this going to be a good fit? Like, I'm just looking at like, mechanics of how it works within our business more than I am of like, what do I actually do to make sure this is a good deal? Like, you guys are handling all that.
And of course, in our strategic business unit, once we're managing businesses and we go look at acquisitions, we not only do the due diligence, but we also build the integration strategy and connect the new business into the existing business so that 30, 60, 90 days, all the things you need to do to curate it in are already pre-planned, predetermined, and you have support to do it. And with hundreds and hundreds of acquisition experiences that we have, I mean, this is what I envisioned, right? A business support mechanism that had thousands of experts that did everything across the life cycle of a business. And as a business owner, on a fractional basis, you can educate yourself, and then you can bring your team along to do the work with you, and then you can integrate with us to support your team The question I want every business owner to ask themselves is, if you had that resource, would you move faster with more security and more profitably than just trying to wing it and figuring it out all by yourself?
So, I mean, answer for me, 110% yes. We're moving at attack speed because we know, not to say we know everything we're doing, but we know we have the support team behind us to figure out what to get done. So a great example of that is this acquisition. This was brought to us by one of our suppliers. If we weren't hooked up with you guys, I wouldn't even be entertaining this right now, because my mind was already so, we're already going so mental in our current business. If I didn't have you guys as a support team, I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't feel confident taking on anymore. But I have that confidence because I'm working with you guys.
And your supplier has the confidence to bring it to you because they see that you're building your business. You're a responsible business owner.
Totally.
You know, you start having a conversation, you can pull out financials, you can pull out business strategy, you can pull out planning, you can pull out, SOPs and VSEPs and manuals and process. And people are like, shit, you're a business dude. You're not just a technician doing a job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's got to feel pretty damn good.
Yeah, it was cool, man, because so my grandfather started off in 1972, and this is a cool little story. So the main supplier for this technology of waterproofing, when it first got brought to America in the 70s, my grandfather was the first guy to use that technology in the Northeast. So the gentleman that worked with my grandfather on that technology, fast forward 30, 40 years later, he's the one that brought us this acquisition because he knew my grandfather's name, and then he saw what my brother and I had built at the company and the awesome organization and the people and the culture and all that stuff. And he's the one that brought us that business. So it was definitely a euphoric feeling, and just like feeling so grateful for that. And like, it's just awesome, man. It's awesome because when we were so small like that, when it was just me and my brother, you wouldn't even recognize the guy I am today. We were just like, a couple of grumpy construction worker guys, like, F this, F that type deal. And, now we truly love what we do, and it's exciting to be building a business and a culture and creating an awesome place for people to thrive.
And I think, honestly, I think your business could absolutely explode with our crumbling infrastructure in this country.
Oh yeah, it's massive. And the mind-blowing thing is this technology has been around since the 70s, and it's only exponentially increasing. However, if you talk to 90% of the people here and just in general, no one knows it exists.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. Yeah. Oh yeah. We definitely got to talk about it because there's some massive opportunity.
Well, we are definitely going to blow it up. So look, Ralph, I appreciate you coming on the show, sharing your experiences, and as all of you know that listen or watch the show, I only bring on people that are proven examples in the marketplace that should be an inspiration to each and every one of you, and also should be an education for each and every one of you. If you're in business right now and you're uncertain or unaware that things could be going on in your business that are not working for you, they're working against you, it may very well be the reason that you need to educate yourself on how business works. And to the extent you do that, and you build a relationship with us, we may very well be interested in coming alongside and helping you blow it up and take it to the next level and creating not only net worth, but, as we've already done, generational net worth for people. So look, Ralph, thank you so much. And for those of you watching and listening to the B. Dawson Show, I always appreciate that you do listen and watch the show. And I promise you, I'll continue to bring you some remarkable people that are crushing it today in business to inspire you to do the same thing. So thank you for watching and listening to another episode of the B. Dawson Show.